Hello everyone, I'm Danny Ivan with Danny Ivan Media, and I want to talk to you about 5 challenges new real estate photographers face when they start working as a photographer. Now, if you're like me, you've seen a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of people talk about how great and easy it is to be a real estate photographer, and they follow buy our courses, right? A little strange, right? Like, why do you want me to buy your courses? There's plenty of free material out there. Yeah, they're trying to sell you something, right? I want to be real with you. Real estate photography, as much fun as it is, it has its challenges, especially when you start out. So I want to give you no BS, no fluff, none of that. I just want to be authentic with you. And it is possible to make a lot of money doing it. There is a caveat though. You're going to have to work hard. You will have to hustle. So here are 5. Starting with number 1, the first one is going to be equipment. Now, you're going to need a camera, obviously, right? We're photographers here. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's going to be like a Canon, a Nikon, a Sony, just something that works well with you, something that you like. I have no allegiance. I've used all of them. It's fine. I have a Nikon. That's what I use, but I've used Canon. I've used Sony, and I like those too. Like, don't get me wrong. The big thing is DSLR camera or a mirrorless if you can afford it. And it doesn't have to be like the newest, greatest camera, just something that can get the job done. Because big part of it that you want with your DSLR camera is make sure it has the ability to do bracketed photos. I believe all of them do. I'm not sure if there's any DSLR or mirrorless that don't, but I could be wrong. Bracketed, this way you have that ability. This is part of the editing section. I'll tell you more in editing, but second part of the equipment is, of course, the lens. Now, you want something that can, I believe, has to be at least 16 millimeters. I've seen some YouTubes videos where people say 24 will do. I personally think 16 minimum. 10 would be great if you can get that. 16, yeah, I'd say 16. I've done 24. I have a 24 millimeter, and I tend to believe that the 16 works best at minimum requirement. Another piece of equipment you will need, though, is a tripod, because if you're taking those bracketed photos, your camera's going to need time taking that light, right, to get those really bright spots for the overexposure shots. So you need your camera to hold still, get that shot in. Other things would be like extra batteries and SD cards, right? Things fail, they break, and it sucks to be on spot and your battery's dead and you can't do anything. Please have extra batteries and SD cards too. Now, camera, the tripod, proper lens, that is like the bare minimum. You need to just get going, get your foot in the door. Do you need a drone? Do you need Insta360 for those Zilla 3D tours? I will say yes. They help with added features, right? You will get some real estate agents, realtors, clients, even the homeowners themselves do want those features. So if you can get them, great. Add those to your packages, bundles, whatever you want to call it. But if all you can offer is a camera, hey, it's something, and you can work your way to getting a drone or an Insta360 later. Now, to get all that equipment, it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. It could be a few $100s, and you can shop at like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. I did when I first started. I bought used equipment, and it worked out just great for me. And I just set a goal of, now that I have this used stuff, I'm going to work and buy myself a brand new camera and then work, improve there. So start out small and earn that new, latest, greatest stuff, right? Prove to yourself that you're able to generate income so you can buy stuff. I don't recommend buying the latest, greatest, coolest stuff right away when you're starting, because then you're not really incentivized to upgrade yourself. So there is some fun in the challenge of climbing that mountain instead of just having everything granted to you at first. Okay, number 2. This is the hardest part I'd say for new real estate photographers, and as well as veteran real estate photographers, people, that is finding clients. Finding clients is really hard, because guess what? It's a saturated market. There are so many photographers out there. Again, I'm not telling you any fluff. I'm not going to BS you. It is very challenging to find clients. You might have some regulars over time, but sometimes the regulars, you don't hear back from them for a long time. They don't bring you consistent work. You're always going to be looking for new clients. So some of the best ways I found, and this is only me speaking, maybe you can comment on what worked to help you find new clients, But it was like meeting people face to face, whether it be going to their offices to drop off business cards and you strike a conversation there like, hey, can I drop some business cards or something? I'm a photographer in the area. If you need one, hey, that's worked for me. Another is open houses. I've gone to some open houses. That will help a lot too. Face to face has been the most effective way for me. Don't get me wrong, I have a little bit of social anxiety. I don't like approaching people. I don't like people approaching me, but it's just something you have to get over and do it if you want to be successful at it. Cold calls kind of has worked for me. You will get rejected a lot more than face-to-face, that's for sure. Maybe I should put that in. You have to deal with rejection. Even if face-to-face, it sucks. But cold calls, is pretty tough. Calling people, let them know who you are, you're in the area, what you offer. People hang up on you. Just, why are you calling? Why are you bothering me? Stuff like that. If you can do it, I believe it's worth it. Again, swallow your pride. You will get rejected a lot. I don't believe emails work. I've done a lot of emails, and it's people treat it like spam. I don't like when people email me either. I mean, think of it like that. I never bought anything through an email that I know of that said, "Oh, geez, I should get this." I'm so happy someone reached out to me. No, because you're being sold through emails. Who buys it, right? So I don't think that's ever worked. But social media can. I've done it before, but you have to. Let me give you an example how you work your way through it. Is you don't want to come off hard. Try to sell someone right away. Say you're following like a client, like a potential client, like a realtor, real estate agent. You're following them. Don't just start selling your services or, hey, I can provide you a better rate or something. No, don't do that. I don't recommend that. I'd say just be genuine. The last person I got they talked about like the holiday spirit and how they set up goals and they put up sticky notes and stuff. So I responded saying, hey, I do the exact same thing. I put sticky notes in front of my monitor and this is what has helped me. So, your thoughts align with mine. And then from there, a little bit of conversation, liking each other's posts, following each other, and then that person's been seeing some of my content being posted on social media, and then over time they reached out to me. It's like planting a seed, so just don't go too hard. Treat it like a feral cat that you want to befriend. You don't go right away and pet it, right? You just sit there, be patient, they come to you. Treat it like that. That's my mentality. Another great challenge that new real estate photographers have to deal with is communication, right? You finally got a client. You schedule the time to take the photos. You're so excited about it. Now keep in mind, communication is very important to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. Like before you go out to the shoot, hey, how do you want your photos to be delivered? Do you want it through a Google Drive, a Dropbox? Like how do you want them delivered to you? Figure that out. This way you are not surprised about the deliverables. This way you're prepared for it after you've got the photos ready. Another one is talk about with the client. Is there anything in particular that you need me to focus on? Because otherwise I'm just going to go around and take the pictures that I believe is great. Some people say, make sure you get the RV gate. I forgot that. Make sure you got the fireplace real well. Get plenty of that. Ask those, like this way they're satisfied that they were heard and you provided them the photos that they really wanted. One thing I tell clients before I arrive, hey, a few things, if you do for me, that'd be great. Before I arrive, make sure all the blinds are open, make sure all the lights are on, and make sure none of the ceiling fans are on. Make sure all the ceiling fans are off. This way you're ready. You don't have to waste time going around the property, opening the curtains and turning off the ceiling fans and waiting for them to turn off and turning on all the lights. This way it's more ready. And make sure as well with communication, just emphasize with the client, be sure the house is photo ready. You're not there to clean the house. You're not there to organize it. You might just, make sure like some pillows are fluffed and some towels are straightened. Yeah, sure, to get that right shot. But you're not a housekeeper, right? You're a photographer. So give that little bit of communication to your client. This way that, they might need that reminder to make sure the house is photo ready. And another big one when I first started out was access to the property. Are you going through a gated community? If so, how do you get through the gate? Is there a security guard that you have to tell them who you are? Is there a code that you need to punch in to get through? Nothing sucks more than when you're stuck at a gate and you have to try to get a hold of the client. They're not answering. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be here and I got another place to go to. So make sure you have access to the property through the gate once you arrive, is someone going to be expecting me? Sometimes, I've had all kinds of people wait for me. The realtor will be there, or the property owner will be there, or the property owner's cousin will be there. Or if no one's going to be there, is there a way to get in, like a lockbox where you can go open it with a code, get the key, and now you have access to the property? So make sure you're clear about how to gain access to the property. And the last one that's really important is make sure whomever is going to be at the property is going to be there on time and that they respect your time. The one way I do it as a professional way is like, hey, if you're going to have any problems not being able to make it on time, please let me know before I get into my car. I have a tight deadline. I have to go to other locations after your locations. So please be, if the appointment's at times at 2:30, please be there at 2:30. Let me know if there's any issues, because there's been moments where I've had to wait for a realtor who's all late, 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have other places to go to. So it can be very frustrating. So those are I know there's plenty of other communication things. If I'm missing one, please comment below. But those are like the big ones I've had to deal with. Another challenge, I would say, typically it would be like, once you finally got access and you're taking the photos, that's a whole other video in itself. There's plenty of YouTubers out there who have content. Even I follow them, I watch them. So I want to skip that and talk about, once you have all your photos done, you're done with the location, you're back home, is the editing process. Editing is, for me, it's as relaxing and enjoyable as it is frustrating and time consuming, if you understand what that means. I guess the time consuming part drives me crazy, because I find myself because I just want things to be so perfect, but at the same time I find myself spending a lot of time editing. Even with my shortcuts, I have so many shortcuts, but still I'm still tweaking it, because although this shortcut work for one photo, it doesn't mean it's going to work for all of them, right? So there's going to be a little bit of editing. So if you enjoy the editing process, go for it. I'd rather not do it anymore, especially when I've gotten so many more clients that I just don't have the time for editing. I mean, I kind of can't do, but I just don't want to, right? Interferes with my sleep, my life around. So a lot of real estate photographers, what they'll do is just the first person they ever hire, they outsource it, they go on Fiverr or something and find someone overseas in India or Pakistan to edit the photos for them. You can't do that, pay someone a few cents to edit per photo, and then 12 hours later, you'll get the photos in like an email or Dropbox or something. Which leads me to my sponsor. I use Auto HDR for my photo editing. It's quick, simple. I just drop my entire workload. I do like 3 photo brackets. Some people do 5. To each their own, right? It works. But it recognizes that, like, hey, these are bracketed photos. Here are the 3, and they compile it into an HDR and do all the editing. And the editing is phenomenal. Like, I can't compete with this. I thought I was a decent editor. I mean, I take my time, but I thought I was a decent editor. I thought the people who I've hired overseas before are decent editors, but I think this one with this AI with Auto HDR, it just blows it out of the park. I just tapped down and said, I'm using you from now on. So I recommend using them. I have a link in the description below and in the comments as well. Feel free to use it. You can get 10 free edits per month, so you could try it out and see how you like it. And if it works out for you, I highly recommend it for your real estate photography. And last challenge for new real estate photographers, and this might be something that's going to take a while that you're going to constantly tweak, and that is pricing your services appropriately. And I'm talking about, the time it takes you to drive to the location, take those photos, drive back, edit them, if you are going to edit them. Just value your time. After all that, let's just say you were gone for like 3 hours. Divide 3 into how much do you want to be paid per hour? Is it worth it? Because you have to pay for the editor if you choose to, or the website services you're going to use, the gas, there's all these other things. Don't forget your taxes. Just make sure you're pricing things appropriately. When I started out, I had such a hard time finding clients. I thought it'd be a good idea to do services for free. No, don't do it. Do not do that. And also, just because you're so desperate to find new clients, don't do it so cheaply as well. because then those clients are going to have expectations that you're going to do it cheaply, and they're only around you because you're doing it so cheap. And then when you finally try to say, hey dude, I'm getting burnt out, I'm not charging enough and I'm not enjoying this anymore, because that can interfere. If you're not charging appropriately, you're not going to like your job anymore, and you thought you liked photography. No, a lot of it is you're not pricing it correctly. So when you bump up the prices, those clients are going to leave. They're going to try to find someone who can do it cheaper or something, right? They're not going to be satisfied. Like, you're charging so much more. So find that median, because you will find those clients who are willing to pay it, especially if your job's really good. And once your job's really good and you do it at a price that makes you happy and you're happy, you're going to continue on with that energy to your next clients, and those clients are going to like you and they're going to be willing to pay what you're asking for, right? So make sure you value yourself, your time, and that you're pricing things appropriately. You don't want to race to the bottom because your competitors are charging cheaper or something. Yeah, they might charge cheaper, but you have to figure out a way how you can provide better service, because at the end of the day, people who charge too cheap could get fired, and the client's going to say, I'm willing to pay a little bit extra for better service. That's how I am. I'm always looking for better service now, because that's where I'm in my life. There's a saying, good work is not cheap, and cheap work is not good. So if you're going to provide good work, you shouldn't be cheap. You're going to want my services and continue to have my services. So that's my 5 challenges for you new real estate photographers. If you're someone who's been doing it for a while and I missed one, feel free to comment below. I want to know what you believe is a challenge that you had to overcome when you first started that I did not mention. I love reading those. So I look forward to your comments. Until next time, thanks for watching my video. I'm Danny Evan. Bye. Really wanted. One thing I tell clients, you'll get the photos in like an email or Dropbox or something. Fudge, I need water.